I'm gonna phone up Tom as quickly as I can, but here we go. Bam, we're already into the Bix and Bams. Let's get Tom off of that. Let's give him a call.
That was very quick.
That was very quick. Just like, yeah. All right, well, maybe they needed a minute. Nope, apparently they did not need a damn thing. How you doing, Tom?
Oh, I'm doing great. I just played some ARAMs, got my butt handed to me, so now I'm going to watch people get their butts handed to them to feel better.
Circle of life, man. So yeah, OptimusTom, big guy, now at MLG, GGC, IPL. I mean, you're just everywhere. Thanks for coming out tonight.
No, definitely. I saw that they were doing it on Facebook. I was like, oh right, I was supposed to sign up for that. So I figured since I wasn't going to be able to play in it, that I should cast it with you instead.
Fine with me, man. Totally fine with me. Let's get this started, as I'm going to do a little bit of social media and chat work, so it's all you, buddy.
Oh, it's all me. All right. Well, interestingly enough, we still have some bands that we do see in high-level play. Unfortunately, we also have bands that we don't see. I do see the dev side and the viewer side. Dev side is currently blue. Viewer side is going to be on the purple side. Dev side has opted to ban out Morgana, Shen, and Miss Fortune. Miss Fortune, little secret OP. No one really knows this. She kind of had a little bit of prevalence in that bottom lane. Chaos used her a lot, and apparently they're afraid of that Miss Fortune from the viewer side. Viewer side is going to be banning out Nocturne, Diana, and Varus. Now, Diana is overpowered in all sorts of means. Nocturne is a very powerful jungler as well, and Varus, I don't think these people want very unorthodox AD characters in the bottom lane because they're just secretly all overpowered. And we got a... Well, let's see what we got coming out of the picks right now. We have an Alistar from the jungle. Ooh, you see, this is the bad part. I don't know what dev is playing what role right now. I've tried to listen into the interview and figure it out, but I still couldn't figure out what was going on.
Warp Spider X is their jungler.
All
Two
right.
Tubulars, their AD. Zekria there is going to be their mid, and I believe Noisy Demon's up top with Royan in the bottom supports, I believe.
Alright, so they're picking the jungler choice right out of the get-go. Jungle Alistar, very powerful ganker. Of course, there's a little bit of support to him as well. Meanwhile, on the viewer side, they're going to be picking up Graves, because, well, everybody loves having a Graves in that bottom role. And a Malphite, which could be a jungle pick, could also be a top pick. And as I learned the hard way, one solo queue game can also be a support character, but it doesn't work out too well.
I've actually changed the screen over to the bios of everyone, so I do believe that's Noisy Demon right there, and he's going to be in the solo top. Yeah, so we have Ken in the jungle, solo top is going to be Noisy Demon. So what they did is they actually announced which lanes the fans are going into, and then they put the dev faces there in...
That's pretty cool.
to match them up. So I do believe it is going to be Zek mid, Royan bottom with two Tubular, Noisy Demon top, and Warp Spider X. And you can see here Prale is going to be going their mid, and I believe Awinia's bottom, and Jeremiah 18 is going to be their jungle, which leaves us with Jaslyn, and Zephyrical will be top, so Jaslyn's going to be their support.
Oh, okay. Now, they gotta be really careful if Awinia is gonna be playing in that bottom lane role. I heard she's a pretty tough chick to push out of the lane.
She did some really good work with Miss Fortune in the previous tournament. I do believe, you know, for some pretty astronomical numbers coming out for her.
Well, that would explain the Miss Fortune ban from the devs. They don't want to deal with it. I'm kind of surprised, though. Wouldn't they just be able to hold their phone up and figure out the counter pick?
Well, that's what they said they're going to do. They're going to be holding up their phone, and they're going to be trying to deduce it that way. I mean, you got to live the product that you're developing, and hopefully, you know, this artificial infusion of skill will help them out a little bit.
That's actually one of the cool things. At GG Chronicle, they gave us a little key to let us go in and play around with the PentaKill app. And one of the coolest things in the world was, as you guys saw on the screen, they're able to point out on the load screen and figure out items that you want to build to counteract the champions you're going to be going against.
Yep.
That, I think, is one of the more useful things of the entire application right there.
Well, I think I saw in their preview video that when you're up against a Tryndamere, you need a boots of speed. So, you know, I think the algorithm is working very well.
Listen. Sometimes you need boots of speed. Sometimes you just want to get the sorcerer's shoes because he has little to no magic resistance. You never know.
Exactly. That would work out extremely well. But overall, I think the items that they were developing were pretty much spot on. I mean, if he's an AD, get armor. If he's a support, you know, just kill it. You know, that kind of
Preferably with fire.
with fire in the face.
You know, what I'm actually really interested to see out of the viewer side right now is they are not picking random champions to try to throw off the algorithms of the app. That's what I would be doing.
Just let's see. Karma mid? Yeah, what are you gonna give me for a Karma mid? That would have totally worked.
What are you gonna give me for Evelyn in the bot lane, huh? Come on, what you got? What you got, PentaKill App? But,
exactly. That's the true skill of an algorithm.
see, the best part is if they are going just based solely off of their own application, their team looks really good right now. Not gonna lie.
Yep. I mean, we got Warp Spider X jungle. Looks like he's gonna solidify. I probably should have hidden the summoner skills. Oops, my bad. Anyway, they're hidden now. Anyways, Warp Spider X probably in that jungle with Yorick. Yorick's a fairly solid top. I would definitely say that he can definitely do work. Now, it could be a Malphite, could be a Zephyrical. What do you think of either of those matchups?
Well, either way, Yorick is known as a top champion that never loses his lane. He's extremely hard to push out of that lane once he gets established, and he has enough sustain on his spells where he's not going to really be able to be budged. The thing is, though, Malphite's not going to have an easy time against him in the top lane, because Malphite's not necessarily known for farming up into high farm. Aurelia, on the other hand, if that chick gets a lot of CS on her, she's going to be an unstoppable force, no pun intended, in the later stages of the game.
Yeah, if I do recall, it was Bob the Nurse who did the solo top Riven 3 games in a row, and they just had no answer to him. So we're gonna have to see if Zephyrical can really. I had big shoes to fill as that Aurelia, but Aurelia versus Yorick. I mean, both of them doing physical. They'll just both bulk up, and well, in theory, they'll both bulk up a little bit, hit points and armor, and day will be won. As a Malphite jungler, though, again, he's just going to come in, just do all those slows. There's not exactly any hard CC that he can offer to that top lane, except that ultimate, but we're going to have to see what Noisy Demon can do about it.
Yeah, and one of the things is a lot of players recently have been focusing on the top lane, trying to make it spiral in one side's favor to basically win throughout that matchup. Malphite in the jungle, like you said, not a lot of hard CC, and Yorick is pretty much unmovable in that top lane. So I think what Malphite's going to want to do is really camp the bottom and camp the mid lanes from the viewer side as well. Only problem is if Malphite's going to come in for a gank on that bottom lane, Graves and Nunu gonna have to try to use up Sivir's spell shield with some of those ice blasts and buckshots before Malphite comes in to really land the ultimate, that unstoppable force. Otherwise, that dev team's gonna have a lot of escape potential. Tarot's got a dazzle to offer that hard crowd control that the viewer side just really doesn't have right now, besides Equilibrium Strike if Aurelia has lower HP than the target. And Sivir with her on the hunt and just her overall move speed, they're a slippery bunch over there.
Now, Sivir and more of the higher elo games these days, you don't really see him that much, but I do recall there was Captain Jack the other day who just did a phenomenal Severe, so I have to wonder if 2Tubular is going to go Korean style and just try to lay the smack down with that Taric. I mean, typically with a Taric combo, you'll see someone like Vayne or Caitlyn or even Graves, but of course Graves was taken by this point in the game. It's a very deadly combo, but with Severe, you just really don't see it that much, because you just don't see Severe that often.
You see, that's one of the things that I don't like out of the pro scene right now. I think that Sivir would be an excellent counter to Graves and Corki, who want to use a lot of Qs in that lane, because every single time they want to hit somebody, you just activate that spell shield and kind of laugh at them right now. So I'm really excited to see Sivir in this matchup. We haven't even touched upon Twisted Fate against Ahri in that mid lane. Ahri's going to have a really, really good time just running around and farming up all over, but Yorick's got teleport, Twisted Fate has a teleport, and like I said, with Sivir and Taric, there's going to be a lot of movement from this development side.
Yeah, and we're down to the last few seconds. We're going to be jumping in to see exactly what has been going on these past 3 minutes. So good luck, have fun. Twin Engine Labs devs, the creators of the PentaKill app on iPhone. You can pick that up for a few bucks, and golly, is it ever worth it?
Oh, it definitely is. Right now, I'd love to have... I actually don't own an iPhone, so I'm a little upset, and my sister took her iPod wherever she went. I don't know, clothes shopping. Let's go with clothes shopping. That sounds like a good idea. So I can't hold my own thing up and analyze everything going on right now, but what I can analyze is how many skins everybody has. And of course, you know, Jester, skins mean skill when it comes to League of Legends.
Yep, 1 skin, 2 skin, 3 skin, 4 skin. That's exactly right.
Well, I don't know about that last one, but both sides actually do have 3 skins if you want to count Unchained Alistar. It's a free skin, though, so we're going to give them half a point for that one, which means I'm rooting for the viewers on this one because they have better skins. Hired
Gun Graves, Nightblade Aurelia, Foxfire Ahri, nothing on Nunu, minus points there. But of course, at the same time, Severe with her default skin, looking good as always. I am much more of a fan of Pack Severe, simply because I have her and I hold it over everyone. But I'll take default Severe. One thing I did notice is Aurelia, however, not running teleport, whereas we do have Noisy Demon with a teleport.
Now, that could be because Zephyrical may be a big fan of Dyrus, and notice that Dyrus ran Teleport last night in an MLG show match and used it a grand total of once or twice, which did not actually work out well for them at all. But regardless of that, I mean, that just means that he's going to be very focused in sitting in that top lane and getting a lot of farm, whereas on the development side, we could probably see them, quote-unquote, working as a team.
Well, we would hope that they're working as a team. I mean, you win as a team, you lose it as a team, and we have a lot of losses under the belts of the twin engine wins.
So they're going to have to chalk this one up to a little bit more teamwork, see if they can get themselves on the map. But like you've been mentioning, the viewers have really just been taking it to them. These guys have made a very, very good app. They got the counters and everything in front of them. They have the items that they need to build and everything. We're just going to see if they have the skill to back it up in Game 1.
Game 1 is going to be setting a lot of the pace here for the coming games. I mean, it's going to be a worst of 3, which means we're going to be playing all 3 games regardless. That's what a worst of 3 was redubbed into. So no best of 3 here, guys. Worst of 3. Now you can see the fans, they've 5 bunched here into this bottom lane, looking for 2 Tubular and Royan. But yeah, they're not going to be finding anyone as the rest of the team is clustered top. Now this segregation, this 3-2 split, typically you see this, and usually one of those halves die.
Well, yeah, it is a very difficult thing because if you have the AD and support split off, it's usually very easy to pick off the squishy AD character. What they do usually do is line up on the quote-unquote line of scrimmage, kind of like it's a football match or American football for you Canadian fans out there like Jester. But basically what they do is they just want to line up and make sure they see everybody coming in. What they didn't do, however, the AD and the support just went straight to the bottom lane. So now, there's not a lot of aggression coming out because everybody's playing a little bit safe, but the viewers, they're going to be able to steal away some of the jungle from Alistar, and he wants that red buff in order to gank.
Yeah, Alistar Jungle, I mean, he is a top ban. I just saw some of the statistics from this past week in the IPL face-off, and I think 97% of the games was either a pick or ban of Alistar. I think there's maybe one game played that had nothing to do with an Alistar. So he's a very popular jungler, and I can see that taking away that red will reduce a lot of that ganking power that he can bring in. Regardless, he does have a lot of CC under his belt, so we're going to have to see how Warp Spider X can deal without this red buff. As of yet, nobody even knows that red is gone yet.
No, but it looks like they might now. It does seem to be that Malphite's going to come in here from the bottom lane gank. Sivir only level 1, not going to have that spell shield left. They do force a flash out of Taric, but no one wants to tower dive right there, and they're going to be getting out of there after a little bit of aggression.
Yeah, it was a good gank from the fan side. They did come in fairly nicely, and as you said, mission accomplished. They did force out that flash. They also really brought him down to extremely low levels of hit points, and that's just going to be forcing a lot of mana out of here from 2 Tubular. I mean, he's thrown out 2 boomerangs. I think he hit 1 on the return, and that's about it so far. So now they're very forced into a defensive position. They can't even go to face check that brush. Even though there's a ward in it, they just can't afford the hit points.
And that's one thing that Nunu's going to have a lot of fun with in this game. He's going to be able to Ice Blast and harass down, like, no problem. Sira's going to be a good counter because of that spell shield once again, but Gray's just going to have a field day last hitting those minions.
Now check out this top. We got the flash come in from Warp Spider, and he kept walking.
Maybe he just got the timings a little bit off right there. I didn't actually get a chance to see if Aurelia maybe ducked in a bush and got rid of some vision.
He just walked right through her. Has red, has blue. They did notice that the Malphite has the red, and he went and took their red. So he did have the buffs, but he flashed in and did nothing. So I'm not too sure.
Perhaps the drinking has already begun on the development side. We don't know about that one.
One second, let me find that tequila. Oh, I missed. Damn. I have to try it again. Or maybe you take a drink every time you fail a gank.
I don't know about that, but we could actually see the developers losing a very quick 3-0 if that's the case.
Maybe. I hear that they can hold their liquor, though.
I mean, I've heard as well. I actually had them as a guest star. Ken was on the Trinity Force podcast a little whiles back, and he kept stride for stride with Ponophobia, and that man cannot hold a drink.
Mm. So it wasn't much of a competition then. That's what you're
saying?
Not
really. Nah.
I read it loud and clear.
He did talk about drive-through liquor stores, though. But speaking of drive-throughs and drive-bys, Alistar gonna miss the pulverize, but does land the headbutt down on Nunu, just giving this bottom lane a little breathing room with that gang.
I don't know. Winnie is able to land a few extra auto attacks on 2 Tubular. Forced out, I think, another flash. Yeah, we now have the flash and the heal down for 2 Tubular. Winnie is just chugging health pots to stay up. But with this, with this Nunu, they're actually doing pretty good. Nunu 0 CS, but Winnie is up to 21, still holding a pretty decent lead over 2 Tubular, who's sitting at a grand total of 8 at this point in the game.
And the one thing is, Sivir's going to be trying to harass down her opponents, whereas Owinia with that Nunu support's just going to be able to do everything through auto attack. So even though, you know, developers have a good strategy here, they want to try to force Owinia back out of that lane with a non-sustained support. Right now, she's just playing too cautious and too safe, and her range just a little bit too much for Sivir to handle.
I mean, Severe does have some pretty decent range with the boomerang, but as any skill shot, if you miss it, it's just a gigantic waste of mana. And I think that seems to be the theme right now with 2 Tubular. Haven't really seen too much, you know, difference in the health bars every time I come down here with the camera. And by the way, Tom, I wanted to ask, how's it feel not to be on the camera for once?
It's really, really weird. It's very, very hard to keep up with what's going on when I don't have to be bothered to look at it.
Oh, you'll be fine. You can see a lot of the harass coming out from this Nunu as well. I mean, the buffs to Nunu, I thought that made him, you know, somewhat of a better replacement to these non-sustained lanes. You know, keep up that blood boil on top of your AD, throw out those free snowballs that you can gather now just that much quicker. And for sustain, you just chomp down, get a last hit every now and then. I think it's a beautiful support.
It really lets him be one to regain bush control on that bottom lane. The thing is, Taric and Sivir have been pushed back to the tower the entire time. Like you said, even though they keep warding that brush right there, they can't move anywhere past Nunu because he's just a wall. He's going to throw Ice Blast at them if they get too close, and if they try to poke him down with Boomerang Blades, he has too much self-sustain and that consume.
It's a pretty deadly combination. I'm looking at 2 Tubular. He's not looking so healthy right now. Warp Spider X coming in again, but here comes Malphite with that blue. A beautiful headbutt is going to be just forcing Malphite back for now. Another Boomerang going out, catches Nunu on the return, but again, with this poor trades in health, it's just really hard to stand up to get a good fight going. To the devs' credit, however, it is 0-0 by 6.5 minutes, setting a new record.
Well, that's a record that they're hoping to keep on breaking right now. Unfortunately, that bottom lane is getting very, very close. One thing that Alistar does have over Malphite right now is even though Malphite was doing a better job with the counter jungling early on, Alistar has caught up in experience right now. Even though neither of them have gone back to pick up any of those GP10 items yet to get the gold clocker rolling, Alistar ahead on the experience despite being counter jungled.
Now I'm looking Noisy Demon up top. He does seem to be holding his own up against the Viracle, but we haven't really even touched mid either. I mean, we do got the level 6s out. We do have the Foxfire as well as the Destiny ready to go, and Zekria is sitting at 28 creeps to the 38 of that Ahri. I mean, it's not a terrible situation in that mid at all, so their secret weapon might be living up to the name. We're going to have to see what happens with this first gank when he uses his ultimate.
It's definitely going to come all out to how Twisted Fate positions himself. Ahri has been known as a very roaming mid-champion as well, but no one can really compare to Twisted Fate in how he can teleport down and just instantly gold card somebody. So if that secret weapon gets his timings down right, he's going to be able to run in and get a kill, and they'll be able to fall back before Ahri even knows what the heck is happening. But one thing that Ahri can do over Twisted Fate is keep up that CS lead, and she's doing a pretty good job with that right now.
And we got a ping down in the blue team here, so the blue team blue, Warp Spider X are going to be handing that off to to Destiny, to Twisted Fate as soon as he can. But, you know, with the difference in score, it's still 0-0, but about 1,000 gold difference is what has come out since, you know, the last hitting. Just not as spectacular as it could be for the devs.
No, the one thing that is really keeping the viewers ahead right now is Owinia in that bottom lane. What is that? Oh, actually we have a little bit of action going on, possibly in the jungle. Looks like Malphite might actually die to his own red buff. Has to pop a flash to get out of there. That was a little interesting.
I was like, what? I don't see a fight anywhere. What are you talking about?
Neither did I.
Wow, did not notice that Jeremiah was dropping nearly that low. He did have to pop a flash. My goodness. That is going to be putting us a lot behind when it comes to a gank for our fans.
And that is one thing that the developers had over Malphite was the fact that Alistar is keeping up in experience and keeping up with the presence at the same time. So that's really going to set Malphite behind.
My goodness. Popping out that flash. At least he... Oh, the first blood! It's going to be that Rowan. I'm actually going to back up with a backspace to check out what happened there. But it does look... I did catch the blood, but I didn't actually see what happened. So it looks like the Dazzle Shatter combo just went totally wrong as Owinia is able to dash in with that exhaust and the help of Nunu, able to secure the kill on top of Rowan in that bottom lane. So 2 Tubular looks like he's going to be okay, but first blood finally going down. It's going to be that Taric.
Yes, indeed. So Owinia picking up first blood, and like I said, she's going to be that reckoning force in bot lane that really propulses these viewers potentially into a victory. And getting her with the 63 CS to Sivir's 27 first blood on her. Taking a quick look at the gold tab, I mean, 2.7k compared to Sivir's 1.7k right now. She's basically all the difference and then some the viewers have over the devs.
I'm looking at this gank coming out. Jeremiah in the top lane with Zephyrical, just landing a lot of damage on top of Noisy Demon, but he is fairly built, you know, probably having some scaling armors and such, because he just did not take as much damage as you really would have expected him to. He does have that tier ready to go, but he does escape half health, not a problem. But if you've been keeping the chat on here, Tom, you notice that every now and then a Winnie is going to be saying "cupcake your face," and that's actually a saying that she says quite a bit to these devs, so that's exactly what all those jokes are for.
Alright, well, she's going to be spamming them in CS and spamming them in the chat as well. Meanwhile, we did see Alistar coming down, pop the flash to try to get a gank down on Awinia. Perhaps the trash talking provoking him a little bit aggressively. Unfortunately, was not able to follow up with the proper headbutt, and Awinia was just able to quick draw out of there and continuing her dominance in that bottom lane right now over to Tubular.
Yeah, Tubular looking a little bit scared. Royan going to be taking a buckshot to the face as well. I think a snowball went out. Yes, it did, but he's going to be okay for now. When he went back, he did pick himself up a Heart of Gold, and I do have to commend him on his choice of which gold pretend to get first. The Heart of Gold, extra 200 hit points, is going to be serving him well, as he is taking a lot of flack in this bottom lane.
Meanwhile, Ward Spider X went to try to counter juggle that blue buff, ran into a wild Malphite in the bush right there, and he's going to be chased away by the bottom lane of the viewers as they come in to try to defend their jungler right there, get him back on the right track. We do actually see Nunu going for the Philosopher's Stone right now. This is going to be good because Nunu not getting all the auto attacks in lane that he really needs to keep his passive up. He's going to be able to keep spamming those spells despite not having the free spells from his passive, which means that Graves permanently blood boiled in that bottom lane, and that's just giving him too much of a problem.
Things are spicing up in the top. Noisy Demon is going to be dropping after a pretty extended duel against the Zephyrical, so putting up another kill on the board, 2-0 for the fans, and Prele going to be going mid up against Zekriad. Zek is, however, going to turn around with that gold card. Here comes Warp Spider X, but the Ignite is going to be enough to finish off TF, and we do force out the flash from Prele, and it just does not seem that Ken's sense of timing is quite spot on. He does seem to have good motions of it, though. I mean, he is showing up to these right lanes, it's just he's not getting anything done with it.
Yeah, and that's the one thing that's kind of keeping the devs down right now. He's even saying in the chat, I am so bad at this combo right here. You know, maybe that could be something that the app actually brings in next, is to try to practice timings, maybe cut a couple buttons on like the interface right there, practice your headbutt pulverize combos with Alistar before you get in game. I don't know, just throwing suggestions out there, Ken.
Tom giving off those $1 million ideas quick. You gotta go patent that before they actually finish this game.
This is true, but I think I'll give him a freebie with this one.
Yeah, Alistar is not exactly for the new jungler, so to speak. I mean, that combination, even I have trouble with it, and I'm used to playing that support. Talking about support, Royan again taking a big blast to the face, does force out that flash, maybe not. Has a 210 second cooldown. He might actually just have utility tree. Fairly sure he flashed right there, but oh, here we go. Maybe a little bit of revenge. The Shatter Dazzle on the hunt comes out, but no, it's going to be an exhausted Tubular, not able to seal the deal, or will he? Looking a little brave, not going to be taking any of those tower shots, is out of mana, no more boomerangs can come out, but does look like it's going to be an end to the aggression in that bot lane for now.
That was very, very heads-up play right there coming up from the developer side. Now we're going to have Sivir going back. Has about 1.5k in the bank, so she's going to be able to catch up in some items to Awinia. Picks up those Berserker's Greaves in addition to another Doran's Blade. But Awinia on her trip back picks up a BS sword, and that is just going to be continued dominance for Graves in the bottom lane, as Sivir just can't quite keep up with the damage output after falling behind in CS.
Malphite shoo. Yeah, Malphite coming over, finding the Warp Spider in the jungle, but that just means that Zekriad needed to get away from that much earlier than he did. A charm combo with that Malphite, he is going to be dropping. Noisy Demon with the teleport coming mid up against Auri, going to be trying to chase her down. Excellent juke from that ball of damage, but it does look like they traded on to Jeremiah for some reason, so he's going to be able to tank all that damage, and no kills will go down yet again for the devs. Noisy Demon having to make the lonely trek back top.
Yes, indeed. That is going to give Aurelia a little bit more time to free farm in this top lane. Aurelia doing an excellent job of farming against that Yorick, by the way. Yorick actually going to take a quick look at his spells. Did go for that Omen of Famine first. Means he's going to be going for sustainability. Does not have a second level of Omen of Pestilence. So he's going to be going for maybe a little bit more attack damage, kind of tanky bruiser build, going for that Monamune in addition to his Ninja Tabby there. That just means Aurelia is going to have a little bit of an easier time farming in that top lane, as Noisy Demon's not going to have the wave clearing potential most Yoricks usually have.
I'm looking at the aggression down south. A dash into a buckshot. All three of those landing on top of 2 tubular, but it does look like she avoided a majority of the damage coming up from the Graves buckshot, as well as the Nunu combination, but it's not going to be enough for Tarek. He does drop yet again, 5-0, and looks like a lead of about 4,000 gold, 15 minutes into the game.
Excellent use of absolute zero there from Nunu, not only getting the almost full channel down on the slows so Tarek could not get away, knowing that Tarek's been blowing the flash aggressively to try to set something up against Awinia. Just perfect time and knowing when to pop it, and Tarek just one kind of shot away, lets Awinia pick up her second kill of the game, feeding the AD carry. It's not what the devs want to see.
No, but it is exactly what Awinia wants to see. She needs to power those cupcakes somehow. So 2-0 and a BF sword later, she's doing quite well. Almost 100 creeps now, 15 minutes in. And look at the damage she's just able to exact on top of 2 tubular as he does drop to the flash aggression. And that's going to put him up 3-0. Awinia looking to be the star of the show so far.
Told you guys in Champions, like, this chick's out for some vengeance, even though she won in the first place. Mid lane, we actually have another chick with some aggression. Prowley is going down with that Ahri. Picked up a very quick kill on Twisted Fate, and this is also going to be perhaps a bottom tower. No, not quite. Tarek's going to defend that for now.
Comments coming up from Jeremiah. This is going to be a 4v5. Malphite just deciding he just needs to hang in the jungle, go for the soothing rock relaxation massage. Nope.
Oh man,
it's like my team's got this.
Massage?
The hot rock massage. Sounds like a plan, sir.
It sounds like something I would enjoy, but he does have the Oracle's Elixir going through the jungle, so it's not like he's not doing anything for them. Is 0-0-1, only 54 CS, but still, it's a little bit higher than Alistar. And with that Oracle's Elixir, not only is he going to be able to safely counter jungle by clearing those wards, but providing less vision for the devs team. I'm actually going to hit the F key right here. Devs have absolutely no vision on the map because of that Oracle's Elixir. It's going to leave them very susceptible to ganks.
Now we do got that combination landing finally on top of that Nunu, but Nunu with the flash on the hunt came out from 2 tubular, but he is not going to be able to land the kill. Malphite, however, will reverse the tides of war in this bottom lane, and Royan is going to be dropping yet again another flash. He must have utility masteries coming out because he flashes every time there's a fight in this bottom lane. Looks like finally though he survives, but he is going to try to defend this tower, which is a no-no. But here comes the Warp Spider X.
Warp Spider is going to want to fall back from this one, though. We do actually have the ultimate coming out from Alistar. Headbutts away that Malphite. He's going to be able to make sure Tarek lives. Tarek also going to pop a... No, does not pop the dazzle past the shadow right there. They want to get aggressive on this one and try to force them back, but it's a 3v2 right now. Viewers decide they're not going to tower dive. They net themselves that bottom tower right there, the kill on Sivir, and they're going to be content just to keep coasting in their lead. 8 kills to 0 right now.
Yeah, 8-0, as someone said in chat. It is looking a lot like game number 1. Look at that invis!
No, it doesn't hit anybody.
Damn.
I'm a little less excited now.
We were all hoping for that Empire moment.
This indeed. Oh, Tarek stepping in that bush right there, but Malphite getting aggressive, uses the Q, that charge, to slow him down. Awinia with another kill, currently unstoppable. Malphite is going to go. That nets themselves an Oracle Elixir kill on top of everything else. Prowley, in the meantime, is going to go down on Twisted Fate in that mid lane. Action coming out all over the place right now, Jester.
I gotta say, first kill comes out to 2 tubular. I almost tripped over that. But yeah, 2 tubular putting a kill on the board, 18 minutes in. I gotta say, this could be the comeback.
I mean, it could be. 1 kill is all it needs to really start snowballing out of control right now. And that top lane still, Noisy Demon has not been pushed out of lane. Despite, you know, Aurelia being 1-0-0 with a little bit of a CS lead, she hasn't really done anything since that first duel against Yorick. Yorick be able to sustain himself magnificently with that Omen of Famine right now. He is still leveling up that Omen of War. Mid lane is going to fall down there to Prowley right now, but he's just doing such a great job. Between him and that Twisted Fate in the mid lane, if Twisted Fate gets a little more aggressive perhaps on top lane, they could shut down that Aurelia and really start to carry themselves back into this game.
You know what? One thing I've noticed? Zekriad, their secret weapon, 0-4, no Destiny ganks.
No, none whatsoever. I'm actually a little perplexed by this. He has it level 2, so he definitely has it. He wants to do something with it, but they're not using it offensively. I think he might have popped it once to try to run away, but that was about it. He does have a needlessly large rod to his name, so it's not like he's doing terrible. 107 CS on him. That's the most on the dev side, so we really need that Twisted Fate to start making plays, especially that bottom lane. They always get so aggressive and get so close to picking up a kill, but they haven't been able to seal the deal yet, and Twisted Fate could be the card they need to finish their deck.
I see what you did there.
Oh yeah.
You magic player, you. Warp Spider X coming top for a gank. Unfortunately, screws up the combo yet again. Is going to be rocking back to his jungle in shame, but Malphite might actually put in an appearance, as we do have that place warded. Malphite actually also has it warded as well. But now we see the ping come back. Get on out of there! No, Jeremiah! He's not going to go for that desperation ult, but he is just going to be here for that presence. Warp Spider X deciding not to go back to town. He is just going to be up here as well. This is going to be robbing Noisy Demon of a little bit of experience and gold, but I'm fairly sure they're used to carrying Ken by now.
I don't know, we're going to have to see right here. It does look like with Alistar in this top lane, though, it seems to be supporting that Yorick as Malphite was waiting in the bush right there. But no, Malphite's going to back off, and you know, the devs, they haven't lost anybody yet. They've been doing a pretty good job ever since that first tower went down, playing a little defensively. Bottom lane, though, they are going to get aggressive once again. Royden really wants to go in there and try to get something done on Awinia. She is continuing to exert her brute force over to Tubular, has basically a halfway stacked Bloodthirster to her name right now with 5 kills. Devs really got to do something about her if they want to get themselves back into this one, Jester.
Yeah, Zekriad in the mid does have that blue buff yet again. Gold card looks like he was going to make himself more available to the bottom lane for a gank with that Destiny. But again, you know, all we need is that Taric to start off the stun, start off the Destiny, put in the damage, force the flashes. Gold card comes out and bam, you got yourselves a nice kill. But I don't know, maybe there's just a disagreement over the drinking, or Zekria just not been paid over the last 2 weeks. I don't know, but he's just not really being a very helpful cause to the devs at this point.
No, unfortunately he is not. This might be the secret weapon right here. Ooh, Warp Spider gonna perhaps find himself an Ahri in the jungle right here. He is chasing her down, and Ahri wants to go over that wall right there. Has a move. There's the headbutt pulverized combo coming down from Warp Spider. Huzzah! But probably feeling that true damage on the way back with the Order Deception. There's the Ignite and the Ultimate coming out, and Foxfire to seal the deal. There's a teleport coming in from Twisted Fate. Stuns Ahri, stuns Awinia actually in that range of the tower, but Absolute Zero is gonna force everyone out of there. On the hunt, props, and Awinia is not going to die, chugging health potions as the Ignite ticks down. So viewers picking up another kill.
Yeah, 11-1. That was some pretty decent, timing right there from Zekriad, but he did unfortunately land himself right into that new ultimate, forcing out that flash. No kills. Oh, sorry, Warp Spider X. No, I mean no kills going down. He doesn't count at this point. So, you know, it could have been a lot worse of a situation.
Yeah, it definitely could have been, but the viewers now going to take this, get themselves the first dragon of this game, going to go down at 21.53. We'll see you at 27.53, and they're just extending their gold lead now. 10,000 gold lead seems like a lot right now. There's only 10 killed advantage on their side, though, in 2 towers, and you can't really count the devs out yet because there have been greater deficits to overcome in League of Legends.
Oh, for sure. I mean, we see them in high-level tournaments all the time. 10,000 gold is pocket change, and Noisy Demon, he just needs to start capitalizing a little bit on that pocket change to take out Zephyrical top. A little bit of a duel going on, but Noisy, he's just a little low on mana. But looking at Irelia, I mean, she does have that Phage already, it's the Philosopher's Stone to boot, and, of course, she does have the Mercury Tread, so I don't know, maybe Noisy Demon's just feeling a little intimidated. On his side, I don't think he's actually gone back to town in a while. He does have himself 2,000 gold in the bank, so yeah, let's see what he picks up.
Then we get to see, but mid lane, meanwhile, we're going to have an unstoppable force coming down to Zekriad right now, and that secret weapon, unless his secret weapon is going 0-5, he's not really doing what he's supposed to do right now.
It's the sense of false security from game 1 that he needs to convey.
Oh, I see. Ooh, a brilliant headbutt pulverized combo. Doesn't actually knock Malphite over the wall. The flash will get him out of there. On the hunt has been popped. No spell shield going down on Charm. Now Awinia coming from behind. Smoke screen to cut everybody off. Is she going to be able to pick up the kill on 2 Tubular? Nice collateral damage. Will not seal the deal. Headbutt and pulverize will actually knock Awinia out of the way, but Jaslyn coming in and seals the deal with those ice blasts. Pralay is going to clean up on Alistar right there. And unfortunately, Taric not too long for this world as Ahri will mop up the last 2 kills.
Now, we might have been ragging a little bit on Zekriad, but of course he was dead that point. No Destiny coming out from him, but what's the deal with Noisy Demon? He just freshly went back to town. He has himself that Mana Mune and a lot of armor, and he didn't come to help out the team. They lose the mid tower because of this.
No, they do not. I actually kind of like the build coming out from Yorick, going for that Mana Mune and now building towards what looks to be like a Frozen Heart. That is going to be adding to his mana reserves, letting him spam all those spells if he comes down for a team fight, and only going to be adding to the amount of damage, because Mana Mune, what is that, 3% of that maximum mana is going to be turned into damage? 3%? 4%?
I believe it's 3%. Yep.
Yeah, so
2%.
That's going to be a really good job. 2%. Ooh.
Time for a buff.
Time for a buff, definitely. But he currently has 179 damage, and if we're talking about that Sivir in the bottom lane, 170 for her right now. She hasn't been able to complete that Bloodthirsty yet. He's been maxing that Q right there, that Omen of War. He's going to be one of the ones that deals the most damage. He can clone himself, he can clone that Sivir, he can clone anybody that's going to help out in that fight, effectively make it a 6v5, and by using that teleport, he hasn't really come down for anything yet.
Well, I'm looking at Warp Spider X. That's my boy. Get off that combo, bro. But lose your half of your health on this chase. Does not look like it's going to be a kill on top of that Malphite. They almost got it. But you can see now the entire Tell dev team, they're going to be grouping up. Could be a possible Baron attempt. I mean, Winnia's down south just ragging hell on top of that tower. But it does not look like Baron is an interest. Looks like more of a bait.
Oh, looks like Noisy Demon was doing a really great job of zoning out Zephyrical right there, getting about a quarter of his HP down and just a couple auto attacks and ghouls. Now they're rotating towards this top lane. They want to try to equalize some sort of towers and generate a kind of advantage before going for that Baron. We do actually see Zekria getting caught, lagging behind just a little bit, immediately getting bursted down by Aurelia. And alright, Warp Spider X going in there, does not have time to pop the ultimate as he will die. Absolute Zero going off as Zephyrical gets fairly low, but it forces the entire dev team to split and run. Malphite in the meantime coming in from the side with that unstoppable force, and that is cleanup right there from the viewers.
That's, I believe, the first ace of the game as well. 25 minutes in, we've now hit a new record in terms of game length, and at 20-1, it's really not as bad. So you can definitely see the big improvement coming out from the Twin Engine Labs devs, and apparently it's also raining in a hometown of, I want to say Iowa, but I don't think they're in Iowa. I don't actually remember where they're based off of. But wherever it is, it's raining, and it's not doing them any favors.
You know, Louisiana? I don't even know.
I'm sure Lex will tell us in chat. Yep, yeah, Louisiana. Bingo, bango. Take yourself a drink there, OptimusTom.
Oh, I will. It means you have to take over then.
I'm just going to watch Ken die instead.
Unfortunately, it seems to be a theme of this game. He hasn't died the most, though. Only 4 deaths, 1 assist on Alistar. He has boots of mobility to assist in his ganks, Shirelia's Reverie as well to help out his team. Unfortunately, landing the combo is kind of an important part about playing Alistar. And
not going 3 versus 1. That would help, too.
It might help a little bit.
Yep. Especially with the items that we have right now. We have a Shirelia's and the boots of mobility. So Warp Spider X, I mean, he must be watching something akin to, you know, the IPLs and the MLGs, because we do see a big theme of those boots and mobility coming out for junglers these days, and he has boots and mobility.
So he is actually paying quite a deal of attention to the pro scene. Unfortunately, like I said, landing the headbutt and the pulverize a little bit more effective. Ooh, middle lane actually, we do see Yorick going down to the combined might, including a Winia on that Graze. Buckshot's in for a double kill. Zekria needs to get out of there. Shirelia's Reverie has been popped for the viewer side. Nice headbutt to get him out of there. Now goes back in because he wants a pulverize to follow it up, but he unfortunately gets melted down by the sheer might of a Winia. That is a legendary spree for her right now. Malphite mops up Sivir in the meantime. Zekria flashing out of there. Cannot prevent the ace right there. The rest of the viewers getting very low. Twisted Fate actually going to snag the kill on Nunu right there. So 26-2 right now. But viewers might actually not be able to push this one down. They went a little bit too hard there. Not going to be able to just push. They're all too low.
They did lose a lot of hit points for that dive, but the second ace coming out, and I gotta say it, I mean, we've doubled kills in the last 3 minutes. We went from 1 kill to 2. Ooh,
that is definitely infinity times better than the first 17 minutes of this game.
Well, I mean, it's all about that exponential series that developers are well known for doing in their development cycles. 1 to 2 to 4 to 8. All we need now is to bring out 4, and we're up that next tier of kills.
This is very, very true. Their kills will be growing exponentially. Unfortunately, while that entire fight was going on up in the top lane, Winia was able to push down that bottom lane, so naturally pushing for the viewer side, they're going to be lax and chill as they were able just to sit back, farm up all the buffs, buy a couple items. Winia now going for that Zeal and an Infinity Edge onto her Graze. We have Aurelia in the meantime going for this red buff, has a Trinity Force to her name. Warden's Mail and Heart of Gold are going to eventually become a Randuin's Omen on her side. Arya on the viewer side is going to have a Rylai's Crystal Scepter and Rabadon's Death Cap, meaning she's going to be hitting like a truck and sustaining a lot of damage to that extra HP as well. Malphite out of the jungle, building a little bit more tanky right now. He has a Sunfire Cape in addition to a Negatron Cloak, possibly going for that Abyssal Scepter for the ability power damage from his side. And Nunu, being the utility monster that he is, with a Shirelia's Reverie and going for Randuin's Omen of his own. These viewer side looking pretty tough, but if the devs can make this one drag out, get that inhibitor to respawn, and get a very good team fight at Baron, they could just take it back.
They'll take it back, like Justin Timberlake brought Sexy back. Exactly.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I mean, have you seen the pictures of the devs? I mean, they could take sexy back any day in my book.
For sure. Yeah, they did some really good work with that promotional content. Elton goes the Unstoppable Force, landing it brilliantly on top of the secret weapon. Secret weapon now down 1-8. The double kill comes out now for Prale into the triple. Nope, it's going to be the Graves. Stealing that. No Penta for that Ari, but the double comes out for Graves as well. Going for the triple, but Noisy Demon, fairly smart in this regard, stayed way in the back, and a turret executes Awinia. You did
Ooh,
not
so they
get anyone, Royan. You didn't touch her.
That was all according to plan right there. Roin's like, all according to Kikaku. I wanted you to die to the tower. I didn't even need the gold. That's how good I think I am right here. Ari is going to land a taunt on Noisy Demon right though. Malphite will pick up the ace, and unfortunately for the dev team, I don't think they're going to be able to defend this Nexus with just Tarek.
We're going for the style points. Absolute Zero comes out, does it a little bit too early, and now Royan going to be trying to defend this, but he's just going to look nice and pulsating in that bottom corner as the Nexus does go down. So game one going to the fans at a pretty low score, I gotta say, for the fans, 31-2. There's only about 23,000 gold difference there.
Yeah, I don't really know. The fans might just be trolling right now. I think that if they applied themselves a little bit more, they could at least double that score right here. I mean, they're giving the devs some breathing room to try to come back into this one. And like I said, like you mentioned earlier, with Zekriad, their secret weapon, lulled them to a false sense of security in game number one, they got to be on their toes for game number two, even though they're feeling pretty good right now.
Oh my goodness, I'm looking at the gold, and Ari had herself 12,000 gold, 1309. In fact, her assists almost made up the entirety of the kills that Twisted Fate got dunked in. So, yeah, 180-070. Looks like Tarek has actually improved a bit because he's now 070. 040 for Noisy Demon top. I mean, clearly he did okay. He had the most gold on his team. Sorry, second most gold on his team. And he's CS'd fairly well. So, yeah, might be that full sense of security. Is like, don't worry, the fans will be like, you know what, we got this. And then they got this. Then we bring the pain.
Oh man, I'm really hoping to see what's going to come out of the devs this time. That Twisted Fate didn't even need that ultimate to teleport down right now. We're probably going to get something really sneaky out of them, like a roaming AP Evelyn in that mid lane. I mean, that would be something I would absolutely love to see. And you know, Warp Spider, he was like, you know, I don't need to land my headbutt pulverize combos this game. They're probably going to let him take that Alistar, and he's probably going to set up the most brilliant headbutt pulverizes all next game.
Alright guys, so we're going to get the next game rolling for you here. Worst of three, guaranteed 3 games up against these fans. And in game number 2, we'll give you the criteria on how you can win yourselves $25 RP. But we're going to actually toss it over to the screen analyzer so you can check out exactly what the PentaKill app does. That's what the devs are doing. And I got to say, it brought up their game a good chunk. So see you guys on the other side.